The camera looks crooked, but it tells me it's level, so we'll see. And I mean, some things can be fixed in editing. Hello, it has been a minute since we put up a video. I haven't even been able to do my Monday videos, the weekly releases that I want to do, and I feel really bad about that. I told myself I could at least do those, even if I couldn't actually read anything this month. And time proved me a liar. Yes, it did. I did do an April wrap-up. Hold on. I'm Morgan. If this is your first time here, which is random, but hello. I did do an April wrap-up. Insert mediocre little clip here. We started so high, and then the month kept going. That I didn't get to finish editing even, and the vibes just, it made me sad to watch it, so we're just not going to talk about that one. I did manage to finish my April reading what I needed to for Aurelium though, with use of scrolls and extensions. I did also put up a vlog for the first week where we were talking about these two books, at least 5 stars. Started in March, so it couldn't count for Aurelium for anything, but oh my god, I love this book so much, like so much. And Blood Over Brighthaven, also talked about in that vlog, 4.5 stars. Very cool, very good, amazing. So many better people have been able to break down in reviews that I just did not have time to do a full review for. Man, I didn't even tab it. I thought about it, but I didn't tab it. Amazing. Narrators also did really good. There are some troubling topics looked at, so it's not a book that everyone will probably love because of some of the things, and the main character herself is not an easily likable character. So, but it's good to have that too, though. I'd like to show that perspective, and she learned. Unfortunately, though, all the books from that point did not go great. Also finished the audiobook for Funny Story, still not part of the readathon. This was part of the readathon. Then we moved on to An Easy Death by Charlene Harris, the first in the Gunny Rose series. Was it because I just listened and read awesome things, or was it that this didn't go, it just wasn't good? I don't know, but something, I did not have a good time with this book. It's an urban fantasy thriller set in a alternate version of the US where after the Great Depression and some sort of sickness, was it typhoid? I don't remember what it was. There was something though that happened that really kind of did happen, you know, in our history, but that's where we deviated because it was much worse and the United States fractured because it couldn't handle it. Part of us got taken over by, you know, Russia, New Russia kind of. Part of the states went back to Britain's protection and Canada. Part of it got, you know, swallowed up by Mexico with the actual war and the South things. But every single time it said the city she was from, though, it said like the full thing. Full every single word, and I couldn't. It's so annoying. So don't know if it was just the timing that made this a 3-star book or that I was starting a reading slump. Who could say? Who could say? Then I tried to start The Ashfire King by Chelsea Abdullah. This is the second in the Sandsea trilogy, and I had the e-arc for it. I got maybe 50%. It was going very, very slow. Similar to the first book, how it's just kind of really slow paced throughout most of it. This one is also really slow paced throughout most of it, and then there's a lot of action at the end. I didn't end up finishing it before the book came out, and I switched to the audio version, and I still just couldn't make much traction with it. I could not. So I ended up using a scroll to substitute that out for One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. This is a thriller. I wanted to shake up my reading. This way, you know, try to prevent the slump. And while this book was okay, it was fine. I enjoyed it while I was reading it. It was not super overly predictable. I definitely didn't see how the ending was going to go. And the last few lines was a bit of a, oh my gosh, that's kind of sweet. Maybe tear up just a little bit. So that was really cool. Did not fully break the slump that was starting to happen. It didn't. And I mean, there was a lot of things happening. I didn't have a whole lot of time maybe either. I don't know. I was reading a lot, kind of. It's hard to say. Then though, was this the next one I started? Maybe. I think I tried to listen to a bit more of The Ashfire King, and then that still wasn't. Oh no, did not start this next. A Taste of Poison by somebody owned it. Insert. This is a romantasy Snow White retelling that I read on Kindle Unlimited, and it's the first of the Entangled with the Fae series. Or no, it's just part of the Entangled with the Fae. I don't know which one's first. It was interesting. You get to see from Astrid's perspective, the Snow White character, who is a half Fae who can't control her magic. Her magic is to mirror back people's traits. Either their best traits if Astrid was in a good mood when she first met them, or their worst traits if she was upset or something. And whatever that first impression of her is when they meet, that is how they will always perceive her. Like even down to the way she looks. All of it. And she couldn't control it when she first, started the book. And the other one is the Huntsman character, who is tasked, of course, with the Fae Queen to find Astrid because of the death of her father that she's being blamed for. Okay, so there's that. And the romance part does not even start till maybe like 75% through of the book. I mean, kind of attraction a little bit, but like it's not played up or anything. It gets a bit steamy once it finally, towards the end in the 1 to 2 scenes that happen. But otherwise, yeah, not super much into the romance. So, wasn't bad. It twisted at one point. I was quite sure I knew what was about to happen and how could the book have this many more pages, and then it twisted. It was still a little overly long though. I think I rated it 3.5 stars, but I don't remember anymore. More than willing to continue with this series. Next, I started The Book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. This is supposed to be another one for a class. As you could tell, I did not have time to finish it. Did not have time. I even started tabbing. I was enjoying it. But that went nowhere. The one then I did finish was The Autistic Brain by Temple Grandin and Richard somebody. And it talks about different studies that have been done over the years with brain scans of different technologies that have come through, how different people think on the spectrum, and a lot of research in a lot of different things. It was a very interesting read and brought up very different things, especially some of the things it talked about the colored glasses for reading, and how they talked about letters jumbled on the page, whereas they're talking from the autistic perspective and the dyslexic perspective is a little bit different how sometimes it's perceived. So it was an interesting thing. So that was April. I will eventually maybe come back to this. I will eventually come back to this. I have the physical, I have the audiobook. No idea when though. I would want time to be able to sit with it and go through it, because there are intricacies, I feel like, with what is happening in the book. For May, is supposed to be doing the buddy read over on Shelley's Discord for Darkwater Daughter by H.M. Long. I did finish the book. It took me until like the 16th of May. From like the 2nd or 3rd I started it to the 16th. I had the physical, have the audio, and it wasn't bad. I just had no time. So it took me forever, and I hardly actually participated in the Discord discussion because everybody was already done mostly. So there was this one. I finished it. It was decent. I think I would have had a lot more enjoyment out of it if it didn't have it so spread out, because it's not super complex. So spreading it out made some things maybe take longer, feel slower. Yeah. I'm gonna go ahead though and do the next book. It might be the only book I read in June, but Dark Tide Sun, second book in I think the trilogy of the Winter Sea, maybe. We're gonna do that in June, and I'm gonna try to not take as long to do that one. I have the audiobook for that one. And then I finally did finish the Ashfire King though. I finally finished it, and that was a struggle. It was a super struggle, because yes, it picked up at the end, but it was so much. And it's like you are learning the history of the Jinn and what happened with the war like centuries ago, And I love history, but this was just kind of boring. There's only one more book though. It's a trilogy, and I suppose I will do that. I have not been able to write the review. I haven't done hardly anything. And that's that. I still need to read The Witch Road though by Kate Elliott that comes out in June. I probably won't be able to finish it until like right at that deadline. If I could maybe knock out a chapter or 2 a day. That's going to be very hard. Let's do a channel update, I guess. If you've been here for a minute, you've probably noticed that the weekly uploads haven't happened these past few weeks, month, at all this month. I feel really sad and really bad that I have not been getting the weekly new releases, because I love doing those videos. I love finding out what's coming out every week, and by doing it every week I can dive more into some smaller ones and all the different genres. But there has been absolutely no time for that. No time. The kids' end of school stuff and end of activity stuff is just, May is super busy. Car researching, car shopping, and studying for my own things. That is also super time consuming. Oh my gosh, so much. Because of that though, having to double down on the studying and the summer with the kids, it's going to be lighter on the videos for a hot minute. What I'm gonna try to do, what the plan in my mind right now is, instead of doing weekly new releases, we'll just have to switch to monthly new releases for the next few months, probably, until I get these things knocked out and I can say I've got it, and then just having to do other slight things and not quite as intense though into that. So we'll just have to do the monthly new releases. I have no idea how much time I'm actually gonna have to read. Probably not. Like I said, I might get one book read next month. Singular. I don't know. So, I don't know. Maybe bi-weekly reading updates. Maybe every here and there reading updates. Just life updates. I don't know. I don't know. I had fun plans for the summer and everything. They were kind of unrealistic though, I suppose. Because I knew this was coming up and I knew that this had to be done. But we were hopefully, yeah. If you're new here though, this was a very odd video probably to catch up on the channel about, but thank you so much for everybody who has been joining from older reviews, newer reviews, some of them even. I hope though that you will stick around through this time of challenge in the summer, and that we will come back to more normal videos and fun videos, and that I will have time to read. That I will have time to read in this changing season of what we are doing. Fun times. And I hope you're finding something excellent to read, making fun summer plans, just making fun plans in general, and that life is treating you kindly. And that you'll stick around and want to talk about books still in the future. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you're finding something good to read. I might have already said that. And I will see you in the next one.